Thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celeb news. Now today we have social media telling on AKON 6IX9INE versus Meek Mill once again, Justin Bieber, all black everything, 50 Cent drinking and drugging, and versus battle with Lil Wayne again. Thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source. If this is your first time to the channel, be sure to subscribe. Be sure to hit that notification bell. Make sure you like the video in advance. I'm sure we got something good for you today. Now, in our previous video, we delivered the breaking news to you that 6IX9INE was working with AKON on a Locked Up Part 2. And social media became sick to its stomach at the thought and essentially expressed its disgust at the idea that the hit song, which featured Styles P, would be re-released with the likes of 6IX9INE. Yes, well, social media promptly ran off and told on AKON to Styles P, hoping that he would come out the room with a belt and the kind of determination that an angry mother would have to set the artist straight for working with 6IX9INE. But in an unpredictable turn of events, Styles P did not come for AKON at all, but tweeted out the following, quote, "My job is to remind you to boost the immune system and not get distracted by minor things. I will always consider AKON a brother, but we have not spoke or seen each other in years. I don't know 6IX9INE, meaning all three of our paths are different. I live by my code and don't hold others to my code." He went further on to say, quote, "To make this even simpler for you, wondering how I feel about the song, I honestly don't give a F. The fact that this is even a topic to discuss with all the racial tension and plandemic/pandemic makes me want to focus in harder on reminding y'all to stay golden and boost the immune." Close quote. Pushing out the old "it's a conspiracy" belief, which I guess, well, anything is possible, right? Yeah, alright, so holding down our number 2 spot is 6IX9INE, who decided to emerge from the dungeon in classic troll fashion and came for Meek Mill when he grunted out the following post, saying, quote, "If Kanye, who was way more famous than all these rappers, is outside protesting, why is the wannabe Martin Luther King," referring to Meek Mill, "not, but has no problem dropping a song during times like this to capitalize?" Close quote. Forgetting that just because he, 6IX9INE, got that air lockup on his ankle does not exonerate him from being able to himself do something more positive with his platform, which is enormous. Now, you know I don't like to cuss. Flip out of here with that. Now, Justin Bieber came to the stage expressing his support for the black community, salute Justin, and stating that he acknowledges that his style, dance, and fashion is a result of, get this, black culture. And the church says, amen. That's right. When he posted on Instagram the following statement, he says, Justin Bieber says this, quote, "I am inspired by black culture. I have benefited off of black culture. My style, how I sing, dance, perform, and my fashion have all been influenced and inspired by black culture. I am committed to using my platform from this day forward to learn to speak up about racial injustice and systematic oppression, and to identify ways to be a part of much needed change." Close quote. Leaving white nationalists and racists alike wondering exactly how they let the one-time Grammy winner slip right through their racist fingers. Good one, Justin. The cause needs all the help it could get. Now, if you're partying with 50, he's going to make sure that you are having a good time. In fact, in a recent interview with Armchair Expert, 50 revealed that when he parties at a club, he will often make sure that he brings out a bottle of alcohol for everyone to enjoy, and make sure he keeps everyone's glasses full. Then he gets a bottle of, listen to this, ginger ale brought out to him so everyone else doesn't slow down their drinking, but more importantly because he doesn't do well holding his liquor. Yeah, I bet you never thought that, right? Which, not only did you probably not know, but he also stated that he is not big on getting high, but he knows that is what people want to hear in his music. So he made songs like I Get High All the Time. He stated that he saw the difference between people who did drugs versus people who sold drugs or hustled. And the hustlers always had nice things compared to the abusers who often didn't. Food for thought before you consider sparking that next fat one.
Yeah, man, you poppin'.
Really exciting to talk to you, for real. I've only seen you once in real life, and you wouldn't have known it. And I went to Saturday Night Live with Ashton, and you were the musical guest.
Yeah, I remember doing that.
And I was watching you like there was a fucking wild tiger in the studio. I'm like, ooh, there he is. Oh, he's got the bulletproof vest. Ooh, he's jacked. It was exciting.
You know what's funny is I saw your material, a lot of stuff that you've done over time. You have an ill way of humor that is not understanding.
Oh, sure, to playing dumb.
Yeah, when you don't understand it, look, for me personally, it is the funniest shit ever. When you go like you don't understand what's going on, I'm really enjoying myself. Like,
oh, thank you. You know, I was just talking about this with someone else the other day, and I bet you, I mean, clearly you would have to run into this, but it never occurred to me that the message I was sending out in the acting work I did, that people were right to assume that's who I was. In my first 10 jobs I had, I played a dumbass. And I think just regularly people would meet me and be like, oh, I thought you were stupid. Like, I thought you were... And I was like, oh, I guess that makes sense, but I would have never thought of that.
Yeah, they do that, like even to me, right? Because a lot of times I've played characters that speak to the aggressive side of the 50 Cent presentation.
Yes,
so it's like
totally.
I play a bad guy a lot. A lot of the times, if the television show wants just to bring you in for a cameo, it's because I'm the guy that be shooting up things.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
a disruptor.
Yeah, so it's easy for them to buy that because they've been sent that messaging through those programs, and they start to kind of expect that. Like I watched, it was Eddie Murphy. Eddie Murphy did a drama.
Yeah.
And I was like, what is this? Like, I was waiting for him to make me laugh because I laughed at him so many times in his other projects that I was like, yo, this is not right.
Yeah. Well, I think that's why I've always had like a pretty deep interest in like meeting hip hop idols of mine, because in general, what that movement was selling is the same as the punk rock movement, which is like, fuck this system.
Yeah.
It's not benefiting me. And fuck everyone, let's burn this place down, which I loved because I was into punk music, and then I was into people like Ice Cube saying fuck this whole thing.
Everything.
Yeah, but then what's really funny is that we all become the institution. Like, you're an institution, and it's a funny transition, isn't it?
Yeah. It's because I think, like, look, hip-hop culture particularly, right? They love things that are damaged. They can offer, like, a distorted perception of things. Same thing rock and roll.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Hip-hop is taken from rock and roll, the whole, in the midst of everything that's going on, the enjoyment never stops.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
You're so right. Like when I think about even like the 90s, like if all the 90s West Coast guys were like, okay, we're living in a war zone. The fatality rate here is 10 times the national average. Life expectancy for a black male is this. And look what a good time we're having. It's the ultimate, like, I won't let this own me. I'm going to celebrate in spite of it.
Yeah, look, and you have what you have from the journey, from the experience itself. You spent your time in that the whole time. So they're going to watch you go up and then watch you come down. Because how could you possibly be able to sustain it unless you're learning information and adapting and evolving to do something different?
So I wonder if you've had this moment in life. I've had it where I was like, oh shit, the thing that got me into the party isn't the thing that's going to keep me at the party.
Yeah. You can't stay there. Look, I stay in it because I love it and around it, but I think it's to only put what's missing in, not to try and be at the forefront of all of it. You know what I'm saying? Because you still need the new entries. The guys that were influenced by your material, they got a special take on it. Youth culture likes to find things.
They want new, right?
Yeah, like it's always out with the old, in with the new as far as that culture is concerned. And you look and you go, the guys that can sustain being relevant, it's because they've learned over the time period how to diversify and be in it.
Yeah.
Look, when my music comes out, I say, because of music culture, that point that you would define maybe your core audience would be people experiencing college. At that point in their life, they're having the adult experience for the first time. And if you were going out and you were in college in 2003, I absolutely was a part of it without being in the room. The momentum was so high that the music was being played whether I was there or not.
Can I tell you personally, where you're at in my emotional memory, it's so profound. So I got famous 1 second after your album came out. And I was going to nightclubs in New York City with people that I didn't think would ever say hi to me. And your song was playing at 100% of the nightclubs I went into. Like, I can't even explain to you how wrapped up my first feelings of celebrity and access
and making it,
is you. I mean, it's you more than anybody.
This is what I'm talking about. This is what make you my core audience. Because whether it's that pivotal point that success is here, and for a male, it makes him even more attractive. I'm pointing out a male because tradition would say that a man's supposed to be a protective security and support for his family. So him having the success and financially being in a good position because you see the projects and you see the person being famous would say that he meets her criteria.
Survival.
Because he could be gorgeous. He could have arms like we just picked his arm out. And his chest stands up exactly the way she wants his chest to stand up. And his neck has these little things in it that makes his head look like it's a mountain. But if he doesn't figure out how to go earn something, she will be so upset with that pretty motherfucker on her couch.
Agreed.
You can't be hot enough to live on a chick's couch. No one's that hot. Maybe Brad Pitt, but other than him, no one else can live on a couch. You couldn't have had the awareness. It's so funny. I'm just thinking of this now for the first time talking to you. I've never thought about this, but I'm watching, as I'm sure you are, The Last Dance. Are you watching it?
Yeah, check it out.
Oh, my God. We love it.
We're drinking it like it's oxygen, and we're on Mars. I mean, it is like, I can't believe how good it is. But at least, like, all athletes enter that occupation going, okay, there's a shelf life. Like,
right.
Now, I can't imagine, though, as a musician, that you enter that going, I'm not seeing a lot of 60-year-old rappers that people are fucking putting the top down to. Like, were you aware of that at all?
Creatively, the guys had to precondition themselves to write the music. When it starts to come out easy, he feels like, I can do this, period.
Right.
Because it comes out easy. So now, when you go shorty, it's your birthday, it's not rocket science. It's just what's coming out organically to the music. And your first thought is the right thought when you're making music. So it's like, okay, you made that one, make more. Just keep making them until you become conditioned to making it and you're saying the right things on the record. Now, the difference in professional athletes is the ball player may be absolutely conscious of the shelf life, but he spent so much time in the fantasy of what it's going to be like when he makes it. They try to fulfill the fantasy when only 3 players on each one of those teams can actually live the fantasy.
Yeah.
Because of the additional money from endorsements and from other ancillary income that's coming in, those people can do whatever they want. Not only what they're going to do for them, but what they're going to do for the people who offered moral support. Look, most professional athletes, the ones that live like athletes, they don't care about the champagne. They don't care about the sparkles on the bottle and stuff like that. But when they go out, the sparkles come over. The bottles come over. Because they have the people around them that absolutely care about that. So they'll spend the money so they can see them happy. Like in the book, I told them sometimes I'll finish the bottle of champagne, I'll pour the bottle of champagne out in other people's glasses, and then send the bottle so they could bring it back to me with ginger ale in it. And this is because I'm such a lightweight drinker.
Okay.
That I would drink a little bit and I would be hit. I'll be like high as a mother, drunk out of my, like, you know what I mean? Because my tolerance is super low because I just never touched it. When I drink the bottle afterward that I had them bring on the side, it kept everyone partying and enjoying themselves the entire time. Because people kind of watch me and they start slowing down when they see me slow down, and they're not doing what they would regularly do because they see me not engaging.
It's a lot of pressure on you.
It doesn't feel like a lot. It's only thing required was for me Tap the bartender and tell her to go get the...
But to be aware of other people's needs relying on you. Like, I have to act a certain way so that other people can feel free.
Or
like,
if I steer us into a ditch, they are all driving in after.
Right.
That's the on some levels. That's really true. Like they'll spend the money. Like when you spend the money for them to have a good time, it's for them. Like when I bought Mike Tyson's home, 55,000 square feet, 37 bathrooms, 18 bedrooms, full indoor fitness facility. Think Valleys. Fucking recording studio, nightclub in the middle of the place, industrial kitchen, indoor basketball, all of this stuff. And
Tigers? Did it come with the tigers?
Did he leave any tigers behind?
No, there was no tigers. I was in Vegas when he had the tigers. They let you have those exotic pets. But in Connecticut, all that stuff, outdoor pools, outdoor basketball, everything out there. And then you go, I'm still sleeping on one bed.
Yeah.
When you pay for a place like that, that is a party facility. You see what I'm saying? If it works really good in the beginning of your career because you want to bring everybody, you want to have a good time, you want to like have your people around and still have the ability to be by yourself. But you're still living in a really nice one bedroom because if you leave the one bedroom, a house like that has a staff.
Yep.
You can't walk around naked. You walk outside of that one bedroom, that master suite, and somebody's going to see your butt ass. You butt ass naked.
Isn't it funny? Like, even you look at mafioso in the 80s, actual real crime families in the 80s in New York, they started imitating The Godfather, right? Like, they're replicating this thing that they saw that was fake to begin with, right? And then you got people who, like, they idolize Scarface, and then they're all just kind of replicating this shit they saw. And then you saw at some point some music video that you go to the club, and then you do. And then it's interesting that you just inherit this definition of success, of wealth, of the finish line, and then you insert yourself into it, or you manufacture it because it's what you were told is the finish line.
Yes, look, watch this. Music culture, the things they would point out and say were negative in music culture. They'll point to them and say, understand that these things are actually growing on in the environment that the artist is coming out of, and then be upset when it bleeds its way into the actual culture.
Yeah.
I go, wait, because they can place standards on music that they don't place on film and television, everything that they would say was wrong with music culture is fine to put in a film.
Yeah.
The violence, misogynistic energy, whatever.
Oh, you can have a movie about a guy who goes around kills cops. That's fine. But you have a song called Cop Killer, we got trouble.
Yeah, this is the thing. They're saying it's influencing the youth to do that. And I'm like, when was audio more influential than video?
1000%.
So when you look at Scarface, the time that Godfather and Scarface came out, the drug trade was vibrant in New York. I don't think anything done more damage to the inner cities, because they would look at Scarface and say, insert me here.
Well, I think the appeal of those movies and why I love them, and my wife, this drives my wife nuts. She's like, why do you read books about Pablo Escobar? Why are you obsessed with this guy? He's evil. And I'm like, he is. But what I'm obsessed about is someone going, I was born here and fuck that. I will get whatever I want. I can bend the universe around my desire. That's what's appealing. And I think a movie like Scarface, like 95% of the country doesn't have access to any of that shit. And they watch a movie about a guy that's them. He just comes over on a boat. He's got nothing. And he, through his will, he forces himself to have something. And so people get hung up on the violence, but that's not even the emotional appeal of it. The emotional appeal is I can transcend my situation and I can get out of this and I can be huge.
Yeah, I think when a person can have an idea and believe in it, it can happen.
Right.
Even the professional athletes, they become passionate about what they're doing, then they can do it long enough to become good enough. Some of them are talented, so it just takes no time for them to actually get it. They can just get it. The other ones, hard work will beat talent when talent's not working. And those guys will work because they love it so much, they'll work hard enough at it to make it happen. But it's fall in love with an idea and actually believing you can do it. That's the only way you can work hard enough for it to actually happen. Now, people who have success, I believe that they have repeated success at points because they already believe they can be successful.
Yeah.
After the first time that it happens, they go, yeah, I can do this and do that. And they expect it to be successful so they don't doubt themselves.
Well, look, when we were watching The Last Dance, I said to Monica, the shot at North Carolina, that's his whole life right there.
Yeah.
3 seconds left, down by 1. He takes the shot. If it goes in, he's Michael Jordan and he's a clutch player. If he shits the bed and ruins the whole thing, who knows what his life is like after that?
Right. People in the leagues, they play like their paycheck. They don't pick bums on the draft, but they got bums on the bench.
Right.
Because they identify how much those 3 players are getting. Because they're not receiving that, they start to play like...
You're right. People rise to their expectations.
Right.
We've had a big debate over the past couple days about Last Dance and about Scottie Pippen because he was so drastically underpaid.
Right.
And how it eventually caught up to him and the rest of the team because he was like, I'm not going to play. I'm going to get the surgery now instead because I'm not getting what I deserve.
And Scottie was necessary. We needed him.
Right.
The floor. They should make adjustments for the players at that point.
Yes.
Yeah. At one point, they were in a sea of 10,000 student athletes.
Right.
And then they entered into a pool of, I don't know how many people are in the NBA, let's say, 800. Now they're one of 800. The peak of the mountain's even closer, yet some people put it neutral at that point.
Right, because when they get there, and the excitement of when I'm going to make it to the league has been the dream the whole time.
Yes.
So when they get there and it doesn't feel like they expected it to feel,
here we go.
fuck this.
Well, I want to explore that a lot with you. And first, I just want to say, so your book that you have out right now, Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter. I loved what you said. You said, I had been offered many times to write a book. You said, yeah, I've sold a bunch of albums and I've made a bunch of money, but I don't really think I should be advising people on how to be a human. It doesn't mean I'm a success as a human or that I'm not failing on all these other levels. Who am I to write some book? And I just thought, what a great admission to start with.
Yeah, and because it's honest. My expertise is in the things that work for me and the mistakes that I made. Because I learned from those mistakes. As long as I'm offering both.
Yeah.
So I had to start with that statement so you would see both.
Yeah. And by the way, I think there's a lot more to learn from somebody that's sharing their mistakes than their victories. I'm never going to write Get Rich or Die Trying. That's not in my future. It ain't in 99.99% of people's future. But maybe fucking over a friend is in all of our futures. Like that's actually, I can relate to you on, or anyone else could relate to you on.
Stay tuned for more Armchair Expert, if you dare.
We are supported by Yummy Brooklinen. Now, bringing comfort into your home is the ultimate form of self-care, and now more than ever, it's important to take care of yourself and each other. You spend a third of your life in your sheets, Monica.
You sure do.
You, I think, even 40% of your life in your sheets.
How dare you? I'm not in my sheets very often.
Well, don't you want them to be insanely comfortable?
Well, yes.
Okay, so put comfort first, like with new bedding, loungewear, towels, and more. And going on now, Brooklinen's kicking off summer with an event you can get comfortable with. Get everything from bedding to towels to loungewear and more at savings you would not believe. Now, as you know, my favorite hobby is to nude up and slide into my hotel quality Brooklinens and just squirm around a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Everyone knows.
Yeah, feel that decadent Brooklinen all over my nudie body. It's hard to imagine a summer stuck inside the house, but if we have to do it to keep everyone safe, I want to be as comfortable as possible, and that's where Brooklinen comes in. The Memorial Day event kicks off this weekend, and you don't want to miss it. Ease your way into summer with big savings on sheets, bedding, towels, loungewear, and their newest hammam and linen collections. And if you can't wait, you can get 10% off your first order and free shipping on all the new sheet right now when you use promo code ARMCHAIR only at brooklinen.com. That's BROOKLINEN.com. Brooklinen, everything you need to live your most comfortable life. We are supported by Noom. Because everyone is different, Noom adjusts to your lifestyle. They teach you the psychology behind the decisions you make and then help you track everything from workouts and steps to analyzing your diet and recommending healthy recipes. Noom also connects you with a personally assigned goal specialist and a community of other Noomers, so you have all the support you need to empower your change. Noom is the habit-changing solution that helps users learn to develop a new relationship with food through personalized courses. Based in psychology, Noom teaches teaches you why you do the things you do and empowers you with the tools you need to break bad habits and replace them with better ones. Now, Noom is not a diet. It's a healthy and easy to stick to way of life. No food is good or bad or off limits. Noom just teaches you moderation and can be used in conjunction with many pre-existing popular diets. Now, I like to eat paleo, and I got to tell you, Noom is so helpful tracking my meals and keeping me on point with that goal. It can help you visualize portion sizes, see calorie density at a glance. It couldn't be easier. You don't have to change it all in one day. Small steps make big progress. Sign up for your trial today at Noom, Noom.com/Dax. What do you have to lose? Visit Noom.com/Dax to start your trial today. That's Noom.com/Dax. Okay, so the ride, we've never interviewed anyone, I don't think, that has anywhere near as, on the surface at least, a traumatic childhood. And we've interviewed some people with traumatic childhoods. But dad's not around. Your mother got murdered at 8 years old.
Yeah.
Do you go to live with grandma and grandpa at that point?
Yeah.
And then is this very well known about you? You sell drugs for a while. I am curious, and you kind of said it already, you never are into drinking or anything. How lucky do you feel that you weren't? Because I'm an addict, so I'm 15 years sober, and I smoked a lot of crack. I wish I had bought some off you. It'd be a great story. A, how lucky are you that you didn't have a penchant for addiction, apparently, or maybe just addiction in another way?
My experience, I kind of caused all of this. My mom had me at 15. So at that point, teenage pregnancy wasn't as common as it is now. And they didn't have these programs set up where you can go to satellite school and go to work, have a part-time job or something. So her options following having me were to hustle or to go on welfare. She has me. She has to figure out how to take care of me. She just wasn't the kind of person that would accept the welfare part. Welfare is based, you never go nowhere. You got to accept you're going to be right here, maximum on the lowest level.
There's no growth in the welfare system.
Right. So, and hustling had all the upsides and no requirements. So she got involved in that lifestyle. And then the people that I saw that represented financial freedom, that had expendable income, that they could do what they wanted, were all from my mom's life. So after she died, I'm at my grandmother's house. When I come around, I know that person. That's what's the name from, and they go, hey, what's up, Little Sabrina? They already know me, but from my mother.
Uh-huh.
So it gives me the opportunity to be closer to it. And my grandfather was he represents tradition to me. He was real old school. He'd go to work, come home, give my grandmother his check.
Uh-huh.
So I know if I caught him between getting out the car and getting to the actual house, he would give me something. And that started at 8 when I was figuring out how things really work around full-time living in my grandmother's. And he was so conditioned to sacrifice for us that he kind of gave her everything. I didn't understand it. Later, he said, I didn't make the same kind of money you made, and told me you couldn't see it because you was a baby. But when I gave your mama the money, it stopped her from looking at things that I couldn't give her. She may require a pair of really nice black pumps so she can look nice, because when we look good, we feel good. If you've made the pressure of your responsibilities her responsibilities, so now she has all the money, she has to pay all the bills.
Yeah.
So now she see it, and when those shoes, she goes, I don't need that. Give me this, because she already is aware of it. But if you keep the money, she can feel like when she see those shoes that you're depriving her of something and not giving it to her. That's what he was escaping by doing that. And then when I interacted with those other people, they looked at me and said, boy, you young, why your clothes look so old? And I'm like, well, there's no one there to give me that stuff anymore. And it starts by, they got me them Reeboks, some soft leather, the classics, the Reebok.
Oh, sure.
And you running, and you stopping, and you running, and you stopping, and then you can see your knuckles come out of the front of the actual shoe. And they come back and they see that, and they go, God damn, boy, I see I can't give you fish. I need to give you a pole.
Uh-huh.
I mean, it's not enough to get you a pair of shoes, because get you a pair of shoes, and you're going to fuck those shoes up and need shoes again. Versus, if I give you a pole, you can go get your own shoes.
Yeah.
So let's give you 3.5 grams. You know what to do with this? If anybody bother you, you tell them you got it from me.
Yeah.
So when I say I started hustling at 12, I was only hustling between 3 and 6. I had to go through this whole process to stop my grandmother from walking me home from school. I had to tell her, because I was big. I was like, Shelby, I weighed what Floyd weighed at 12. 150 pounds at 12 years old.
Floyd Mayweather?
Yeah. He fight 154. Now I'm looking going, yo, I was that at 12. Like I remember because I had to tell her, Ma, the kids, they're smaller than me. I don't need you to walk me home from school. They think I'm slow.
Yes.
I had to make her feel like she was doing something to me by wanting to walk me home.
Right. You're making me look slow, Grandma.
Yeah, they're starting to think I'm slow.
Right.
Because I'm big and you walking me home every day. And then she's like, oh no, he's growing up. And then it was me coming home from the school and giving the slip. The after school program says that you'll be there till 6 instead of 3. But I never turned the slip in, so I only had 3 hours to hustle. I was always being my grandmother's baby while being involved in the street. And those are the two sides when you're talking Curtis versus 50 Cent. Well, it made clear to me that you can serve a demand. If demand is there, like very first experience hustling, we were selling pantyhose. We were selling pantyhose at the train station, tube socks, white T-shirts, and these little Kurtz. I was working for Dobie and Larry. Back at these different guys. We was hustling there and make a few dollars. And it was something to do that I could actually have something from doing.
And let me ask you, what did it do to your opinion of just people in general? Like, did you have a division? There's these zombies and then there's normal people, or just everyone was a liability?
Because I lived in a household that my grandmother had 9 children, my mom died, the one of her 9 children. I come into the household, I'm the new number 9, I'm their first grandbaby. As they got older, they was all drunk. The whole place, except my grandmother. Me and my grandmother was the only one that didn't drink. So it was like, it's an option to get high or to drink versus get what you want. It became either or.
You couldn't have both.
It was seeing the people who I knew to sell drugs have all of this nice stuff. Then seeing the people make the choice to actually use it. So I'm looking going, no, I'm on this side. Like when I wrote Get Rich or Die Trying, I wrote I'm high all the time because I knew that there was an audience that would like to hear that.
Right.
I was mirroring the environment that I came out of.
Do you think it lowered your overall assessment of humans? Like some people grow up around supportive, helpful, generous people.
Right.
Like those are the people in their life. And then other people grow up around takers. And I just know it fucked up my view of humanity. I would have said the wrong percentage of like what people on earth I think are scumbags and which percentage are good. I had a warped fucking percentage.
What you said is 100% correct. Some people grow up around people who are good people and want to give. And people grow up around people that just want to take. And to my experience, because I've only had one experience, there's that they will take.
Right.
So it made me a little defensive to that and aware of that immediately. And then you're never off guard that are there. So there's points that good people will come around and I'm still going like this.
Yes.
And it's because I don't know exactly what that is. Better stay away from me and I'm fine with not understanding what it is. And it's just that's a defense mechanism developed from coming out of that environment. Like, and if a person hasn't been exposed to it, they're vulnerable to it.
Yes. When my wife and I meet a new dude, any new dude that comes around in any capacity, the first 4 minutes, even if I'm trying my hardest, it's like, okay, let's just see where this dude's coming from. I just can't, I've gotten better over time, but yeah, my first thing is like, no, you're in an evaluation phase right now. Right. I'm not giving anyone the benefit of the doubt.
Now, look at this.
But I'm trying to shake that.
No, from the person that doesn't have that, they have to learn by going through fucked up experiences because they're going to give the person the benefit of the doubt out the gate that they're good people and find out they're not so good.
But it's interesting. So my wife, somehow, she's never been taken advantage of. Even in ways you and I might think she got taken advantage of. If you really talk to her, yeah, she saw that. That doesn't affect her. And I was like, oh. So when I met her, I went to her house and there's like 5 people living at her house. She's got this big old house. Oh, there's 5 people. And then like, within 10 minutes, I'm like, what are these people paying in rent? And she's like, oh no, he takes the trash out and she feeds the dogs. And I'm like, girl, you're getting taken advantage of. Okay. Cut to, 5 years later, The highlight of her life on planet Earth was living with those 6 people. Sure, they didn't pay their way, but she had like this great community. She loved them. They loved her. And I'm like, oh, sometimes I thought I was getting taken advantage of, but I missed shit.
Look, the way I grew up, I would assess why are they around.
Right.
And I look at it and go, oh, it really just here because you're getting free food and shelter.
Right.
So now if she can look past that and enjoy the person there's going to be moments. They're going to have good moments. When you've come from nothing, the nightmare is Groundhog's Day.
Yeah.
You don't want to go back to that. The worst experience would be for you to go all the way top and feel like you've triumphed, you made it, and then go right back.
Yeah.
You know, so for the most part, like in that experience where she's free-spirited and can have these people come in, because some people can appreciate it and not do things to you. Other people will look at you and say, it wasn't me, it was the drugs.
Yes.
It was something else, but they'll do the foulest shit to you ever.
And finally, Snoop Dogg appeared on Young Money Radio and posed a question that was on many people's minds to the self-proclaimed GOAT. And that question is, quote, that versus battle, when they gonna get you in there, Wayne? You the young GOAT. You birthed the second generation of rappers. You deserve to be in the race. Now, Wayne responded by saying, if they start me, they ain't gonna stop me. They gonna have to ring the bell. Tune stop. I can't stop. Close quote. Now, Wayne is a savage. You must acknowledge that, because he can do it at any given time on the drop of a dime. Oh, shoot, I just did a rhyme. I guess I can flow line for line. Nah. Anyway, Snoop emphasized that Wayne birthed a nation of rappers that emulate his style by name, stating, quote, when you did what you did and you birth a nation, you birth a nation of rappers that are an emulate of who you are. All the Lil this and Lil that, young this, them yo babies. I birthed the gangsta-ish, you birthed this-ish. Now Wayne is not, close quote, now Wayne is not confirmed a versus battle as of yet. I would love to see a Wayne battle. That man got punchlines that are a knockout, I guess, right? But wouldn't it be nice to be able to see Wayne in a versus battle? I would love it. All right, let us know what you think in the comments below. Did Snoop birth a nation of gangster rappers? And what do you think about Justin Bieber's undying support for all things black? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to like, be sure to subscribe. Definitely make sure you join our notification gang. And thanks for tuning in to Celeb Source, your source for celeb news.